The Israel-Palestine conflict, one of the world's longest-standing conflicts, began in the early 20th century during the era of British colonial rule in the Middle East. This period saw rising tensions between Jewish and Arab communities in the region, primarily due to competing nationalist movements and conflicting territorial claims to the land, particularly over Jerusalem, a city with religious significance of Jews, Muslims, and Christians. After World War II and the Holocaust, global support for a Jewish homeland grew, leading the United Nations to support a two-state solution in 1947, dividing the land into separate Jewish and Arab states. While Jewish leaders accepted the plan, Arab leaders rejected it, leading to the first Arab-Israeli war in 1948. When Israel declared independence, over the decades, multiple wars, uprising, and continued conflicts have shaped the region. Israel's control over territories like the West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, captured in the 1967 Six-Day War, has been a central issue as Palestinians seek an independent state in these areas. In recent years, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been exacerbated by tensions between Israel and Hamas, a Palestinian military organization that governs Gaza. Clashes often escalate when there are disputes over land evictions or military operations. Recently, violence has intensified, resulting in high civilian casualties and significant destruction on both sides, with Israel conducting airstrikes in Gaza in response to rocket attacks from Hamas. This ongoing violence continues to contribute to a cycle of retaliation, making peace challenging to achieve.
The historical background of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Let us start with the end of the Ottoman Empire and British mandate in 1917 to 1948. After First World War, Britain took control of the region known as the British Mandate of Palestine. This led to increased Jewish migration, causing tensions with the Arab population. In 1948, the Arab-Israeli War broke out following the establishment of Israel. Neighboring Arab states opposed the new Jewish state, resulting in significant Palestinian displacement and a massive refugee crisis. This war marked the beginning of the ongoing conflict. Fast forward to 1967, the Six-Day War saw Israel capture of the West Bank, East Jerusalem, Gaza Strip, and Golan Heights. This escalated the territorial dispute, with Israel maintaining military occupation over these areas. In the 1990s, the Oslo Accords aimed to establish a peace process between Israel and Palestine Liberation Organization. Although progress was made, significant issues like borders and refugees remain unresolved. Lastly, the rise of Hamas in 1987 introduced a new player in the conflict as a militant and political group opposed to Israel's presence, especially in Gaza. Hamas has contributed to ongoing conflicts over governance in Palestinian territories. To summarize, the Israel-Palestinian conflict is rooted in a complex history of territorial disputes, national identity, and geopolitical factors. Understanding these key events is crucial to grasping the current situation.
Conflict that has captured international attention. In this report, we look at the events leading to the latest violence, the impact on civilians, and the global reactions. Let's begin with a look at the factors that have captured attention in this region. Recently, violence between Israel and Hamas increased due to the tension around important sites in Jerusalem, such as the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood. In Sheikh Jarrah, some Palestinian families are facing eviction, which led to the protest and unrest. In response, Hamas began firing rockets into Israel cities, and Israel launched airstrikes targeting Hamas in Gaza. This conflict has severely affected civilians in both sides. In Gaza, many homes, schools, and hospitals have been damaged, creating an humanitarian crisis where families struggle to access basic needs like medical care and shelter. Israeli communities also face ongoing threats from rocket attacks. The international response has been mixed. Some countries support Israel's right to defend itself, while others are concerned about the impact on Palestinian civilians. This highlights the complex and divided opinion about this conflict, as many hope for a peaceful.
One more school reduced to ruins, an all too familiar sight in Gaza. In this latest strike, most of the victims were children. According to staff at Order Hospital, which took in most of the casualties, dozens of people were killed.
Greetings to all. I would like to take this opportunity to actually focus on the civilians that are caught up in the Israel-Hamas conflict and how their day-to-day lives are affected. Away from the headline, however, there are many families, both Palestinians and Israelis, who deal with a lot of challenges on a daily basis. Most household cities in Gaza have come down due to the war and they no longer have basic water and electricity supply. There are no hospital beds and the few existing medical facilities are overwhelmed because of the trauma. Another unique story is shared by a woman who had to move into a temporary shelter with her children after their houses was leveled out. She explains how every night her 5-year-old boy wakes up at the intervals because of nightmares of explosives. Organizations like the Red Cross have been able to help, but at the present the needs is greater than what they can provide. These efforts, though effective, will save lives only up to a certain extent in a conflict of this magnitude. Because of the effect of this crisis, mental health care, especially of the children, has now been placed on the front line of care. Hence, let us tell and stick with these stories, tragic resilience and hope, and let us be concerned about the human suffering that the figures represent. Thank you.
Hello everyone. As a global analyst, I am here to discuss how the ongoing conflict between the Israel and Hamas is seen around the world. Different regions varies with these situations through their own media's narrative, which impact the international relationship and the economics. The events in these regions has captured the global attentions, but depending on where they live and the stories might be quite different. This look at the interactions of media, public and the international relations in the conflict situation. Media coverage of the Israel-Hamas conflict varies differently. In the Western countries like US, Europe, media often focus on Israel's right to defend itself, highlighting the security concerns of the Israelis. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, outlets emphasize the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza, spotlighting the struggles of Palestinians. These different shapes the public opinion, leading to the regional divides in the supports and understanding. Public social media plays a huge role. Like Twitter and Instagram allows the people to share the real-time images and videos in creating a global conversations. However, the misinformation can spread as quick as flowing heated debates and even more views. Some see social media as essential for raising awareness, while the others worries it's escaping the conflict. Diplomatic and economic impact are the serious as well. The US, a strong ally of the Israel, has balance with its relationship in the Arab world, while the countries in the Middle East and the European faces pressure to take the stand. As a summary of this, the Israel and the Hamas conflict is not just a regional issue. It's the one that affects the public opinion, international alliance and the economic conflicts worldwide. It's the way it's presented in the media and on the social media shapes the perspectives, sometimes increasing the tension. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we came to the end of today's discussion, I want to highlight just how important peace and securities are in Palestinian-Israel conflict. This conflict has lasted for decades, bringing a lot of pain and hardship to both Palestinians and Israel. Now more than ever, there is a strong need for stability and safety in this region. Achieving peace through a two-state solution is not easy and come with many challenges. But it's clear that diplomacy and global cooperations are essential to finding a lasting solution. To create relief, we must think about the human side of the conflict. We need to consider the fear, worries and hope of both Palestinians and Israel. Each side have deep historical traits to this land, shaping their identities and perspective by understanding these connections. We can must appreciate why peace is so complicated and why reaching a solution required to a lot of effort and empathy. As we reflect on this, I would like to leave you with few questions. What will it truly take to bring lasting peace to this region? How can people and government worldwide contribution? And most importantly, what role can each of us play in promoting understanding and empathy and cooperation? For us to move forward, let's consider some key ideas. First, diplomatic efforts are essential. Open and honest conversation between Palestinians and Israel leaders are crucial, and this effort needs support from international mediators to help build trust and foster collaboration. Secondly, international cooperation is powerful. When countries work together, they can offer incentives like economic support, security agreements, and political backing that encourages peace effort. Together, this action can help create a stable solution. And finally, peace doesn't just happen through governments. It's built by ordinary people on the ground. Programs that encourage people-to-people connection, education, exchanges, and cultural interactions can help break down walls and build empathy. When people connect personally, they gain a better understanding and respect for each other's lives and struggles. As we think about this point, let's remember that finding answer won't be easy, but these questions and actions matter, because the absence of peace in this region affects us all by committing ourselves to compassion and cooperation. We can work together a future where Palestinians and Israelis live side by side in safety and mutual respect. Let's keep forward towards that mission.